If you are tired of starting over every single month at zero and want consistent 10K, 20K months and beyond, this is exactly what I would do to get off that income roller coaster for good. Are you tired of feeling like you're doing all the things as a real estate agent but still not seeing consistent results? Well, that ends right now. Welcome to the Profitable Real Estate Agent, the show for agents who are ready to stop winging it and start building a profitable and sustainable business. This season, we're going to cut through the noise and focus on exactly what it takes to make 100K as a real estate agent. Without the guesswork, without the overwhelm, and without wasting time on things that don't move the needle in your business. I'm pulling back the curtain on the exact framework that took me from my first 100K to 500K to building a 7-figure business. So if you haven't hit 100K yet or you struggle with inconsistency, don't worry, I've got you covered. It's time to take action. Let's get to work. Now, I hope you're as excited as I am to talk about this topic because I hear you and I know exactly where you are. Now, you've got some closings under your belt and then you find yourself starting over again every single month with nothing on the board, and oftentimes the bank account, it's at zero. And this cycle is completely burning you out, making you exhausted and overwhelmed, but you're unsure how to stop it. This is what I call the income roller coaster. And trust me when I tell you this, I have lived this nearly at every stage of my career. So I know exactly how you're feeling right now. Today, though, I want to share with you 3 key lessons I learned so you can finally get off this roller coaster of income for good and stop living paycheck to paycheck and start working towards more consistent months, like 10 or 20K plus months. That's exactly what I want for you. Now, I know you got into real estate license for the freedom and flexibility, but this belief is keeping you stuck and it's keeping you from building steady and predictable months. Because if you're not following a schedule and still winging your day, this right here is the problem. Let me ask you, when was the last time you really looked at what you did every single day? Like, where are you spending your time? Are you showing up the same time every day to go to the office? I'm going to put that in quotations because, a physical office, whether it's your car or your office at home or wherever it is, but are you showing up at the same time? Are you spending your mornings reacting to emails or endlessly scrolling social media? Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's watching the cat and the dog videos. I'm totally guilty of that, so I hear you. But before you know it, it's 11 a.m. and the morning has just slipped away. Are you being intentional about the number of people you're talking to every day? Now, I could go on and on with distractions and scenarios that we experience. And if you said yes to any of these, let's fix that right now. Now, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you know what I'm going to say? Can you even guess it? I'm going to give you a second. Yeah, it's you got to know your numbers. And I'm going to continue to bring this up because we have an attention span of like a goldfish. No offense to the goldfish, of course. But I must continue to drill this message home with you in your brain. Because if you want to make money consistently, knowing your numbers is what is going to help you create the plan to get there. Now, I've got a worksheet for you, and I've taken it right out of my signature program. So if you want the worksheet, go over to my IG, follow me right now, send me a DM with the word plan, and tell me you heard it here on the podcast so I know exactly where you came from. But this is how this works and why it's so powerful. Once you get the sheet, you're going to be able to figure out how many appointments you need to go on every single week, the number of agreements you need to sign, and we're going to drill it down all the way to how many people you need to be talking to every single day. So let me give you an example. Let's say you got to talk to 10 people every single day and you need 2 appointments for the week. Is this written down on your calendar somewhere so you know what you're working towards? Is it time blocked and protected? That's a real question. And again, it could be paper, it could be digital, however you manage your time, use what works for you. And look, even if we need to get even simpler and just grab a sheet of paper and write it down. I just did this with one of my clients. I said, look, just grab a sheet of paper, put Monday through Friday, and then put appointments, agreements, conversations, and closings at the very top, and just start writing a hashtag under the box that corresponds to that activity. Because this is how simple it can be. Let's not overthink it, but we need to be tracking these numbers every single week. And are your strategies that you have right now, your Legion strategies, yielding you the 10 two-way conversations you need every single day, like going back to our example of needing to talk to 10 people every day. If not, then I need you to rethink those strategies and how much time you're spending on each of them. This will give you the clarity you need to take control of your business finally, and the first step to getting off that roller coaster income. Make this a priority today and start building those 10 to 20K predictable months. Hey, a real quick pause before we go deeper. If you're listening right now and thinking, I want a clear plan to finally reach 100K, then check out my signature program. It's my step-by-step framework for real estate agents who are ready to stop winging it and start building real results. Inside, you're going to learn the exact fundamentals to build the foundation to hitting 100K. We're going to cover everything from mastering your buyer and seller consultations to building your database and delivering a 5-star client experience and everything in between. You're going to get access to my scripts, templates, and checklists. Plus, we're going to have coaching, accountability, and support so you never feel alone. Click on the link in the show notes now to join the roadmap to 100K. All right, let's take you back to the episode. All right, so the second lesson I have for you is you've got to get out of the weeds. Now, I just got back from speaking at NAR, and it was an incredible event. I mean, my friends, they had so much on AI and technology in this conference. It was incredible. I learned so much, especially about AI and how I can use it better. But I digress. And at my session at the end, an agent came up to me and said, Vanessa, I close a few homes and then I have months of no closings, and I can't seem to find that consistency that I want. I mean, she was giving me the example. She closes 5 homes and then she has months of 0 closings. I paused and I asked her, well, who's doing your transaction management? And she said kind of reluctantly, she's like, well, me. And I said to her, that right there is what is keeping you stuck. And I told her, this is one of the biggest reasons why you feel inconsistent. You're doing everything yourself. You're deep in the weeds with paperwork, scheduling, chasing signatures, solving last minute issues, because we know in real estate, there's lots of those, and managing every detail of every file. And how do I know this? Because I did this too. I spent years trying to do it all. The showing agent, the marketer, the transaction coordinator, the admin, the everything. And every time I got busy with my clients, guess what happened? My lead generation stopped, and then my pipeline dried up. And I was right back at, 0 again, chasing that paycheck to paycheck cycle. And this is what I see. You get a few deals under contract and suddenly your whole day is upended by the transaction management, and you're not actually doing the things that bring in more clients. So your closings slow down, and then so does your bank account. Now, if you want consistent months, you cannot stay buried in those weeds. You need your time back so you can focus on your fundamentals, the activities that are going to move the needle in your business, that create the income, the conversations, the appointments, the follow-up, signing agreements, practicing your conversations. Now, I want you to spend some time this week evaluating where's your time actually being spent. Because no matter what level you're at, whether you're making your first 100K, trying to find consistent months like 10 to 20K or 7 figures, as long as you personally are in production, meaning you are selling homes every single week, the fundamentals always come first. And if you find yourself in the weeds of the transaction, it might be some time to get some help. Now, the third and final lesson I want to cover is you've got to get accountability, and please hire a coach. Now, for me, for so long, I put off having a coach. I made every excuse in the book: money, time, fear, like I didn't want anyone looking under the hood, right? You name it, I made it. But when I finally met my coach in 2019, my life and business changed forever. And I don't say that lightly, because at that time, I was honestly ready to just walk away. And when I say that, it's the truth. I was so done. I was tired, overwhelmed. I saw no options for myself. But my coach gave me something I didn't even know I needed. Someone who would listen, someone who wasn't biased, someone I could cry with when I needed to, someone who was always in my corner cheering me on every single week, no matter what I brought to the table. And boy, did I bring a lot to the table. And when I tell you again that she changed my life, she totally did. I am not the same person I was back then. I mean, and anyone who knew me before would say the exact same thing from a loving perspective. Look, I don't take offense to it. I admit it. wholeheartedly, I am not the same person that I was back then. And thank God for that, because she changed everything for me. And even though I was selling tens of millions of real estate, I mean, from the outside, it looked like I had everything together. But behind the scenes, I was absolutely miserable. I wasn't present with my family. I never took a day off. I couldn't even remember up to that point the last time I'd ever taken a vacation. I mean, I think probably before kids. I had lost my joy in myself in this whole process. Trying to do this business alone is what kept me overwhelmed and also inconsistent. I didn't need to work harder. That's what I thought I needed to do. I just needed someone to support me. And most agents don't even realize this is the missing piece, because I didn't either. But getting that support changed everything for me, and it can do the exact same for you. And that's why when I created my program, I built in the accountability piece, because without it, it'd just be another course you would buy and never use. Look, the roller coaster of income is not your final destiny. And if you're ready to get off of it and build the business you've always wanted, click on the link in my show notes to join right now. Now is the perfect time to do it. And when you put all of these three pieces together, this is where that income roller coaster will finally feel like it's slowing down. You're no longer winging your days, you're not buried in the weeds, and you're not trying to do everything by yourself. You can actually have a clear plan, focus time, and support that keeps you showing up even when you don't feel like it, and that is the key. And that's exactly how you can start building those predictable 10K, 20K, and beyond months you've been chasing for a long time. All right, I hope this helped. Again, jump over to my IG page. Share with me what resonated most with you today. I'm cheering you on. I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Success as a real estate agent comes down to a decision: to show up, take action, and stay committed. So don't just listen. Apply what you learned today and put it into motion. If you need help getting started, I want you to grab my free 60 lead gen strategy guide so you can start finding the right lead gen strategies that'll work for you. And if you're a motivated, ambitious agent who's ready to hit six figures, join my Roadmap to 100K program. You'll find both links in the show notes. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with a fellow agent and leave me a 5-star rating and review, as it helps more agents just like you find the show. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time on The Profitable Real Estate Agent.